G'day guys, welcome back. Third time's a charm. Yes, I'm going again. I feel like Goldilocks of the three bears, and I'm Goldilocks. The first painting had too much paint. The second painting had too little paint. Now the third one I'm hoping is going to be just right. Right, let's see how we go. If you've seen my two previous videos, you'll know what I'm talking about with my, it's kind of like a wing paw. It's kind of like a ring paw, but I'm not going around in circles. I don't want wings, I just want some movement. So I'm just going to pour a big puddle here and let it run down and then tilt it. So I just call it a layered straight paw. I don't know if that's the correct name. I don't know if it's actually got a name. Now, I've just got my big bottle of Floetrol here, and what I'm going to do is, I'm going to, instead of covering the whole canvas in paint, because my paint is already thick, I don't want to cover it in another layer of paint. I'm just going to put some Floetrol on it here, just to help my paint flow. Let me get my spatula. These are really good. So by doing this, I'm just still having the paint be able to slide around nicely, but I don't want any more paint on the canvas because, as I said, I've got thick paint and I don't want too much on here. It'll just take way too long to dry and it may crack if it's way too thick, too much paint on it. So just try this little bit of Floetrol and see if we can get the same results as having a poured background. What do you think? Is that a good idea? Let's try it. You know I'm up for experimenting. Oops, I've got a bit much there. Let's take it back up the top. And I guess it's a little bit cheaper too doing this rather than wasting a whole lot of paint on a base coat. We didn't need that much Floetrol, but anyway, there we go. Just a light covering, and we'll see how that goes, hey? Is that a good idea? I hope that's a good idea. Give that a wipe off. Right, now my mix. 3 cups Floetrol, 2 cups PVA glue, user craft glue, and 1 cup of pouring medium. So I've got 2 parts pouring medium to 1 part paint. My canvas is 40 centimetre by 80 centimetre, so I've got 140 grams of pouring medium to 70 grams of paint. Just move that out of the way for a sec. I've got this up on a little plastic container there, just to raise it a bit. My paints are relatively thick, leaves a tiny little trace on top. So I'm going to layer each colour in twice into my jug. I should have 1,000 grams of paint, so a kilo of paint. So half of the black first. I don't know if that's quite half. Half of the black first. Half of the copper next. I'm going to just pour down the spout here. So half of that going in next. So I've got black, copper, navy, light blue and a mid blue. So that's my copper there, metallic copper in the global. I've got marina, which is the light blue, just a plain black. And my navy is deep space. And the blue is half bright blue and half cobalt. Okay, so navy next, half of that. No silicone oil in my paints today. So I'm not looking for cells. I'm looking for sort of feathering or little, looks like little fingers. Those little things that wave at you in the ocean. They're stuck to the rocks and they wave and they catch little fish and things. What are they called? Going for that look. Okay, so half the blue. And And back to the black. Use up all my black now. I have got a half a small cup of black left over from my other pour, just in case I need to do my corners if I can't get to all my corners. So I always have a little bit of black made up and ready to go in case of emergency. Okay, copper again. Use up all the copper. So in my first pour, if you watch that, my jug was overflowing. The paint all ran down the back here, ran off the top of the canvas. It was a real mess. Way too much paint. So in my next one, I thought, well, I better cut down. And I left about that much in the bottom of the jug, and I left about that much in all the cups. So way off there. I should have used it all. I'm going to change it up a little bit and put the light blue next to this copper. So I'm going to use all of what's in my jug and all of what's in all my cups. So hopefully, as I said, third time's a charm. Oh, but I am doing a triptych. So there we go. I've kept my other two. I haven't scraped them. So once they're all dry, I'll show you the set of 3. And I think they'll look really gorgeous. I'm really going to be happy with them. Now, what do I want to do next? I think the navy next. It's still going to be full, isn't it? Look at that. Oh well, I'm just going to have to be really careful how I pour from the jug. Because when I poured it the first time, the paint ran down there and down the jug, which made a huge mess. Look, now I'm going to have so much paint again. What have I done wrong? Keep a little bit of that. Who knows? All right, now I'm going to try and pour. Shall I move this back over? Just got a little plastic container up there, keeping it up. Okay, let's go. It's still really full. I'm going to have to try and pour this so that it doesn't run down. Whoops. I have to go a little bit faster like that, see? It's running down. It's trying to run down the front. Whoops, 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 whoops. Okay, move my finger. It's kind of made a bit of a mess, but hopefully it's not as bad as the first time. That dripping from? Getting drips. My jug was still really full and it overflowed again, but as I said, it wasn't as bad as the first time. I managed to catch it. So as you can see, the paint is spreading, it's going wider, it's spreading to the sides because I'm not tilting it as much as I did the first time round. So I'm getting more coverage on the width of the canvas. And I'm going to use all this paint, as I said. Let's keep going. Hopefully I can get a little bit more copper through on this one, because my second one I lost all my copper. This paint does seem to be a little bit thinner too than my last one, which I think is probably going to be better. Can't see what I'm doing. Am I down the bottom yet? Not quite. Alright, that'll do. Phew! Actually, maybe it was the Floetrol that's helping the paint spread to the sides more, because the other one, it sort of only went to about there, and then I really had to tilt. Do you remember? I had to really tilt to the sides. So maybe the Floetrol's helping, and that's pretty much empty. Get rid of that. Okay, I'm going to torch. Pop some bubbles. It's a big heavy cup. It's a pretty big canvas. It's 80 centimeters long. I need to take this off its little bit of plastic now. Put it back on its push pins. I'm going to put that, it's dripping, leave it there. Okay. Now I just want to go up this way first because I want to cover that. And so I'm going to move the weight of the paint down here. And once it's here, then I'm going to go off to the corner a bit. Hopefully I won't lose all this beautiful blue on the outside. Looks as if I'm losing it over that side though, doesn't it? Okay, so the weight of the paint is here. I'm going to bring it over. I think this Floetrol's helping. It's sliding, it's gliding, it's doing well. It's going to go over there with the blue, and then I'm going to stop for a minute and look at it. And I'm just going to put a little bit of blue there just to help that go over. As I said, I didn't want to lose all my blue. I can always tilt some more off later. And I've got my extra little bit of black that I'm going to just pop here. And the good thing about having the Floetrol as my base coat is if I had a white background, me doing this now, you guessed it, it would have gone grey. So I'm liking the idea of me putting Floetrol on here instead of white paint. Although I wouldn't do white anyway, I would have done black. But it might have muddied the rest of my colours. So I do think that Floetrol is a genius idea. Okay, now put a bit of blue here just to finish this corner off, because I'm not sure if I'm going to tilt any more up here, so I'm just going to finish this. Like so. So I've got a little bit of blue left, a little bit of black left. Now let's go to that corner while the weight of the paint's here. We'll go do that corner. Look how nicely that's moving. I'm impressed. Impressed that I've come up with that idea. I don't want to lose any more of that blue. Come back, blue. Look how that's moving. Can't believe it. Alright, now I've left myself a little area up here for the black. I do think that having this extra paint is a good idea. This is more like my first one that I did when I had lots of paint. Now when I splurged it all off the bottom here, which I've kind of done again now, but it's not as bad. Just cover it up. Yeah, it's not as bad. I haven't lost as much. I think probably because I expected it to do that, because it had done it the first time. I was ready for it to kind of splurge over the top of the jug. Okay, I need to leave myself a little bit of black for my other two corners, just in case. Okay, so those are covered, those corners are covered, sides covered. All right, I think I'm going to torch again. Just since I've been moving it, I'll torch again just to see if there's any more little bubbles there or some little tiny cells that want to come up. See, because the paint's moving better, it's slightly thinner and it's got the base coat. My colours are staying a little bit more separate. See, you can see the different colours, which is what I really like. I didn't get that with my second pour. It was a little bit too thick, and they, oh well, I didn't have enough paint, and they kind of all blurred. How am I going to hold this? I want to come to this corner first because this is the biggest area that's blank. Actually, I'll turn it around so that you can see, otherwise I'm going to tilt it towards me. That's heavy. Kilo of paint on here. I think I'm going to really like these as a 3 set. Triptych, isn't it? Or if someone wants them, I will sell them. I want to do another one of these in black, gold, white and red. What do you think? I'd like to do that. So now you can see the weight of the paint is here. I need to move it down to about here and then I can go off to the side. Moving nicely. I'm really happy with this Floetrol. Starting to get a little bit muddy in the middle here. But that's where the leftovers of the cup came out there, whereas down here they were a little bit fresher. So I'm going to try not to lose those because I like that blue. Come back, paint. No, I don't want to lose you. Don't know if that's going to help. Don't really want to lose too much of it. I think that helped. I just didn't want to lose it all off the bottom though, because that's my pretty blue down there. Oh, my hands are so dirty, and I've touched in here too when I was picking it up. Put some black there. It's hard to know where to pick it up, isn't it? Okay, so I've got a little bit of black left. And now I'm not going to turn it again. I'm just going to hold underneath. Hold my push pin underneath actually and just get to that bottom corner there. Just push it over. Like so, and then come back. I don't want to lose all my blue on the side. Okay, so I'm happy with that. Got my blue there. That's gone over. Now down here, I might, what do you think if I put blue on the corner? Seeing as it's already got some blue here, that might look nice, eh? Since I've got a little bit of blue left, rather than do black, we can do that. See what it looks like. If I don't like it, I can push it off and put black there instead. It might be nice if I've got 2 black corners and then 2 blue corners. What do you reckon? This one as well. Keep the navy there and then just run the blue up to it. I think that works. And again, if I'd had another colour underneath here, it might have gone a little bit muddy. So again, yay for my Floetrol background. I'll do that again. I like that. Happy to use that again. And I hardly used any, tiny bit. Sometimes if you lay down a paint background, the paint can be a little bit thicker. And then when your paw hits that paint, it can sort of, can't get up the hill, so to speak. I'm just going to try and centre this just a touch. Now the weight of my paint is right here. I can see what it's doing. I need to bring it back up. So I've got a lot of copper up the top there. And I like this, what this is doing. So I might see if I can actually push some of that off. Maybe. See what happens. So I'm really liking the striated look here. Although this is starting to do something a bit strange. No, I don't think so. I don't think I want to take any more off. If I take too much off the side, this copper is going to move down. It's going to be too much copper. So it can just stay there. As I said, I'm not going for a wing pour. The two different halves don't have to be the same. I really like this. I think maybe this is my favourite out of the three. My second one, I really lost the copper, and I've got it here. And I had a lot more of the pale blue, but I've got some nice bands of colour, which is really pretty. I've got my feathering. Love these striated look here. Yeah, I think that's done, guys. I think we'll call it done. Take my gloves off. Alright, 3 in one day. This has been quite an expensive day with 3 big canvases. This canvas is a 40 by 80 centimetre, which is a 16 by 32 canvas. So I've done 3 of these canvases today, and I've used 3 kilos of mixed paint. Now, before you finish, always, as I've told you before, I know, just run your little palette knife underneath to catch your drips. Do it before your paint starts drying, otherwise you'll see a mark on the side. Do you like these blue corners? And the 2 black corners up there? I like that. You should see the side here. The stripes are going over the side. I'll show you in a minute when I take you in for a close-up. I've got so much paint splurged on the side here. And I think that's the trick, having that little bit of extra paint. I think it's important. I would have liked this not to be so curved here, but it's okay. As I said, there's always parts that you think that you don't like, but other people love them. And you don't want it too symmetrical, do you? It's nice to be a little bit different, I think. Is that it? Have I gone all the way around? I think so. Okay, take you in for a close-up. As I said, when all 3 are dry, I will show you the finished result. I'll put them all up together so you can see. Alrighty, let's have a look. Actually, I'll show you the side first, even though I've got a big mess there, splurged. Look at the side. Isn't that pretty? There's colours coming down the sides. This is another reason why you don't want to put your fingers in the sides, like to try and patch up something. Just let the paint run over and do its own thing. Okay, and this side's really pretty as well. And here we go, lovely striation here. And we've got this gorgeous little, what can you call those? Oops, am we focusing? I don't know if we're focusing. Little fingers in there. Moving along. Got some lovely little feathers over here. This copper. I know it looks orange, but it's a copper. Once it dries, it'll be lovely and shiny. So up there we've got that black corner, and we've got some lovely stripes of blue there with the black. That looks really pretty. I like how the colours have stayed nice and true and bright. There's the other corner with the black. And you can see the blue and the orange. That pale blue, it actually looks white there, doesn't it? But it's really pale blue. So that's it there. And I will just spin around because I've got the other 2 behind me on the table that I've done today as well. I think I'm all poured out today. I've done 3 big ones. So that's it for me for today. No more. Round we go. There's that one. It's got a bit of a glare on it. Take it down a bit, get the glare off it. That was number 2. And then number 1, the first one I did today. Oops, there we go. There he is. I still really like that one. I don't know if it's my favourite or the one that I've just done's my favourite. But there's those two together. The second one, the copper's sort of a bit muddier, so it doesn't look as orange. It's gone a little bit more red. And under here drying, I'll take that off. Oops, get rid of it. I've got these 3 drying. Do you remember these ones? Oh, that kind of looks a bit, it's not really good light. Looks a bit orange, but that's the pink and brown. Turn up the light a bit. No, it's still looking orange. And there's that one, and then there's my lovely purple one, which is also still drying. Oh, it's really hard to see in this light. Okay, so back to this little guy here. Really enjoyed doing these pours for you today. So please join the Australian Acrylic Pouring Group. Jump aboard, have a go at these, show me your results. I'd love to see them. And I will see you for the next one. Who knows what will be coming next. Bye for now.